Welcome to Cocktails and Convo. This is episode 11 of Cocktails and Convo. I'm your host, KO. And before we get into it, Gigi Galore is not in the building today. I actually commend Gigi and also Nemdiva. Nemdiva's not here as well. I commend Gigi and Nemdiva because Gigi is out trying to pursue her career as a professional dancer, and Nemdiva's supporting her. So shout out to those two ladies. Let me stop bullshitting. My man Pete on the boards is here. Pete, what up? What's going on with you, sir?
Ain't nothing much. I'm here. I'm supporting. That's what I'm doing. You know.
That's it.
That's it. That's pretty much it. You know. I'm here with this. I'm. For those who don't know me, I don't drink much, but I am enjoying a little bit of the. Little bit of the spirits today.
It's right there. You want to say who our sponsors is for today?
Sponsors today. Okay. Let's see. Okay.
Let's see if you can pronounce it.
It's Convo.
He got it.
Yeah,
okay.
We're speaking of Cabernet Sauvignon, California 2013. All righty then. This is actually really smooth, really smooth.
Now, today's show is actually going to be renamed because of our guest that's in the studios today. Now, I just have to say this real quick, and I know he's going to be looking at me like, shut the fuck up. But I got to say it. Now, you guys know 2 years ago when I started my live radio show, it was great. It was dope. The amount of guests that I had on the show, it was just phenomenal. It didn't really work out well with the different female co-hosts. Hey, they got fired. That's just what it is. Some left on their own, but that's just the past.
True. I mean, I was around then, but I was, kind of like an internet presence.
Right. But now we're going to talk about the presence. So, of course, when the show ended, I was out for 8 months, didn't know what to do. I'm sitting around chilling, and I'm listening to different podcasts, and I'm saying to myself, yo, these podcasts are fucking dope. I'm talking about Angela Yee's Lip Service. I'm talking about Ice-T's podcast I used to listen to. And there was another podcast that I used to follow for a while. And, I mean, these guys were just fucking dope. I mean, from the beginning, I listened to every episode. That ones I didn't catch in the beginning, I actually played them and I caught up to where we currently are right now with their episodes, and they gave me inspiration. I said, you know what, I'm going to start a fucking podcast. And that's exactly what I did, and Cocktails and Convo was born.
Yes it was.
Yes. Now, Cocktails and Convo actually started May 31st of this year, which is 2015, and I didn't really have an idea at first where I wanted it to go. I didn't want to mimic what everybody else was doing, so I said, you know what, we're going to just focus on pop culture and just take it from there. We're not going to just minimize it to a small audience. We're going to try to broaden our horizons and see exactly where it's going to go. We had a team of, 6?
Was it 6?
I believe
at one
it was
point?
6.
Yeah, it was.
Including myself, it was 6.
Yeah,
we're now down to 4.
We're now down to 4, yes.
And today's show, again, it's not going to be called Cocktails and Convo. It's going to be called Drinks and Conversation because of our special guest.
Yes.
Now, going back to our special guest, the Comeback Jack Show podcast, and I have to say this, is the best damn podcast that's out there, and I'm not afraid to say it.
It is.
It is what it is.
It's actually the only one I listen to.
Well, of course, I'll still listen to Lip Service, and I listen to...
well, you preferential to chicks.
Yeah, that too.
You be creeping on the low.
Yeah. Angela Yee's Lip Service is crazy.
Yeah, but that's another story.
Yeah, we'll talk about that another time.
Pause.
But anyway, I went to an event that I saw on Instagram, Combat Jack. He had a birthday event for himself and his wife.
Right.
And I said, you know what? I'm going to go down to Manhattan, see what this party is about. I was expecting to see some friends of mine that I know that works in the industry. They weren't there, so I said, I don't know what to do. Okay, I'm going to just stand here and just hold a drink in my hand. That always works. That always works.
Hey, look cool.
I was looking fresh. I was smelling great. Pause. And I said, yeah, let me just hang around and see what's what. And then walks in Combat Jack's co-host, Premium Pete.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, well, I don't even know what to say to this man. Do I say, hey, what's up? Do I just give a head nod, let him keep it pushing, pause? I don't know. I don't know what to say. As soon as he got closer to the bar where I was at, I said, Pete, yo, hey, I just want to let you guys know I'm a big fan of your podcast. And he was like, yo, that's what's up. I appreciate that. He said, what's your name, yo? I said, KO. I do a podcast too. And he said, really? I said, yeah. What's the name of your podcast? I said, Cocktails of Convo. He said, is that right? I said, yeah. He said, all right, interesting name. I thought that was the end of that. This man actually walked me around the party and started introducing me to a whole lot of other people. And then he introduced me to Combat Jack. And Combat Jack and I had a nice, dope conversation. But it didn't end there. Throughout the whole night, wherever Pete was walking around, he was like, yo, what's up? You good? Everything all right? He was introducing me to more people. And he showed a lot of love, and I appreciate that.
That's
I really appreciate that. So without further ado, I'm glad to say that the man of the hour is here, Premium Pete from the Combat Jack Show.
Cheer.
What's up, sir?
What's going on, man? That was a great introduction.
Well, I try to mimic, what some of the greats do.
I mean, listen, you're remembering me of 98.7 radio jocks right now, Kiss FM.
I try.
Late night hours on here. We're going to play a Sade is up next.
And I get that a lot, too. I get that a whole lot. Oh, you got a nice voice, you sing? I'm like, no, I can talk nasty. Yeah. And we just take it from there.
Now, you got a good radio voice.
Oh, thank you very much.
Yeah,
I appreciate that.
He's kind of reminiscent of like Bugsy.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
I ain't getting that Bugsy money, but, it's all right.
That's another story. We're working on that.
Yes, sir.
Pete, it is a pleasure to have you.
Oh, man,
here
thank you for having me.
us.
Thank you. And, I definitely... I think when anybody approaches you on some real shit, you're supposed to reciprocate that. For me, I think anybody who really knows me. What you were saying is the kind of person that I am.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is I'm always making sure people are okay or this or that or it's how I am. It's my style. If you're a douchebag, you're a douchebag. But if you're a cool guy and you come off cool, and I definitely want to make sure you know who I'm surrounded by or who's with me or who and that you're okay and that everything's good.
Well, they say that you can really feed off of a person vibe, whether a person is sincere or not. And I'm gonna tell you what's funny. That night, somebody actually tried to rob me. That
Really?
night. Yeah. They questioned me about my sneakers, about my watch. Yo, you look like you're getting money. And they tried to ride the train with me, and I did a dip. And I was out.
Okay.
No running. I walked because I said, you know what? This is a big dude. I don't know how I'm going to fight this dude off, but I'm going to try my best. And he disappeared, and I was into that.
Thank God, man.
Yeah.
That could have been the last we seen the fucking KO.
Yeah. Hey, I wasn't scared. It was just like, oh, he's questioning my outfit. Okay, I got to watch this guy. But it's all good, though.
Yeah.
I had a good time, though. Had a real good time.
It was a nice night, man. It was definitely on the rooftop. We were fancy.
Yeah. It was nice.
It was nice. Cigars,
It was nice. It was real nice. I want to get to the bottom of some things here before we get started. Jorts.
Mm-hmm.
Have you rocked jorts this summer at all?
No, never.
Not at all.
I don't fuck with jorts. Me and Combat have this ongoing feud over jorts, and the crazy thing is this is sometimes you don't realize, and this is something for you guys to understand too. You sit and you talk in the studio in the mic, and you don't realize how many people you reach. You don't realize what you're doing is or possibly could be travel around the world.
Right.
And I was at the Brooklyn Museum, for supporting my friend April Walker, who was doing some fashion event.
Shout out to Walker Wear.
Yes.
And, all of a sudden, two kids came out to me yo, Premium Pete, man, what's up? And I was like, yo, what's going on? I'm pretty much somewhat getting used to that. So what's going on? How you doing? I'm like, oh, I'm good. Let me talk to you for a second. So right away, I'm like, fuck, let me clinch up. What's good? And
that's the Brooklyn in you.
yeah, most definitely.
The
and they're like, yo, let me ask you something. I'm like, what's up? And they're like, why can't we wear jorts? I said, I never said you can't wear jorts. I'm just saying I don't wear jorts. I don't fuck with them. And I said, if you want to fuck with them, then you fuck with them. So, me and Combat go back, and then he likes to ask, certain guests, if they fuck with it. And then most of them have been telling him no. So now he's all upset.
I mean, they kind of got on Sky Zoo about it before, though.
Really?
Got on Sky Zoo about it.
Sky Zoo is definitely a fresh dude. He's definitely a Brooklyn cat. Definitely a friend of mine. But I don't fuck with jorts. So, if you wear jorts, that's on you.
But isn't that a '90s thing?
Well, the problem I had with Combat is that what happened was he was wearing them culotte jorts. He was wearing the ones that he raised the cuff 14 times, and I'm like. And then he's like, oh, these are Japanese denim. And I put them in I cut them up. Get the fuck out of here. All of a sudden, like, you want to be like this fucking Japanese jean designer wearer. And I was like,
gonna work.
yeah, and I was like, so, and at the end of the day, this is all just opinions.
Yeah, that's it.
But, what I was really happy was, and we didn't get this on air, but we sat down with Uncle Luke, and he was wearing like this like button-up, this orange button-up, with these navy, like khaki cargos.
I've seen the pictures.
With the white Air Force Ones. And I should have mentioned it on the show, but I didn't. I was like, yo, Luke, you fuck with George? He's like, hell fucking no. I'm like, yo, you look like you about to get on a boat right now, the way you're dressed.
What did he say after that?
And he's like, yeah. And then Combo was like, yo, you don't fuck him? I was like, nah, man, nah. And for an older dude to say that, I was like, Combat, when are you going to give up? But even yesterday, he had told me that he single-handedly brought George back. And I was like...
They're going to come back.
And I said, listen...
They are?
I don't know when, but they're going to come back.
Hey, listen, somebody hit me from somewhere international, and they showed me it was like 80 or 90% off jorts on the rack. I forgot. It was somewhere like in London or some shit. Yeah.
Now, it's definitely going to come
No
back out
jorts.
there. Everything is just full circle. Afros, bell bottoms.
Baggy pants.
You got the retro squad that be flashing the high tops and all that stuff. And also the jean jackets with the graffiti and the rhinestones.
Yeah.
Those are going to come back too.
That's different. That's different.
I like those.
That's kind of an accessory more so as opposed to a fashion statement.
This is true. I mean, that's why I got the Air Maxes. I wasn't able to afford the Air Maxes back in the day, so I said, you know what, I got the money, let me buy it now.
True.
So, yeah, things are going to come back full circle. But Premium Pete, who is exactly Premium Pete? I do know you're from BK.
Cheer.
I do know that you're on the podcast. My listeners are going to have no idea of who you are.
Yeah, that's cool.
But your listeners are going to say, well, this fucking guy serious? He's really asking them that? No. For my listeners, we need to know who is Premium Pete.
It's always funny answering that question because it's like, when people... Like, I'm a person who never wants to be put in a box.
Right.
So it's like, it's so hard always explaining, myself. I always get the question... And I feel like this is a big question for people when they do interviews is like, what is it that you do?
Right, exactly.
I used to get that from girls a lot. Like, what, because I would go into a place and there'll be mad love for me in there. And people, some girls got that eyeball to see what the fuck is up. And they're like, so, what exactly do you do?
Like our friend that started with you this morning.
Oh, that thirsty white chick. Yeah. She was ready to take the whole team on for a gangbang.
Hey,
I'm sorry.
Hey.
I'm just being honest.
Don't apologize. Hey,
I'm just saying, hey.
Let me explain something to you. Some girls, right? You asked
know.
them, right? No, you no. Listen, I want to be with all due respect. Some girls, they think about if they want to swallow.
Right.
They think about it. Like you ask them, like, yo, you swallow my load? I don't know, But some girls,
they know.
they drink that shit.
Off the top.
Yeah, most definitely. And that was one of them.
And
What was her name?
Erica.
Shout out to Erica. Shout out to Erica.
But it's funny, I put a post up on Instagram not too long ago, and it said most women think about sex more than men. And a lot of them on my comments said, yeah, agreed. They think about it way more than we do.
First of all, it's about masturbation, too. You think that, let me tell you,
course.
I'm friends with so many girls.
Right.
They masturbate all the fucking time. They got the pocket rocket. They got the dolphin. They got the one with the pearls in it. Listen, okay? My ex-wife used to have a fucking dildo with that had like the reverse and forward.
And a friend of mine just texted me the other day and said she just bought a new dildo.
Yeah, see what I mean?
See? So
Hey,
yeah, he's right.
life is good since you got divorced, my friend.
Oh, man.
But we'll get into that later.
Oh, definitely.
But
definitely.
let me give. I guess who is Premium Pete? I guess Premium Pete is just a native New Yorker, a native Brooklynite, a person that has very strong family values.
Right.
A person that really is just creative and that really just. I love to build brands and be a part of things that are great. As far as like what I'm involved in, obviously, I would say we're about 5 years in existence of the Combat Jack Show. I've been involved in probably the first 2 months after. So about, I'm like one of the fourth original people to be on the show. So I'm the co-host of the Combat Jack Show. It's a weekly podcast. I also. I love, like, every passion I have, I kind of have tried to get in the lane or create it.
Right.
So, like, I've been into sneakers since the beginning days and collecting and really, been there since the beginning, of really rocking and stocking and really get.
Before you continue, who's more into sneakers, you or Barbito?
I was about to say that.
I mean,
Yes.
I would have to say Barbito.
Yeah.
Only
He's
because
heavy.
Barbito. Here's the thing. Barbito started coloring sneakers,
True.
and before customs was even a thing.
Yeah, that was
So
that was way back.
that just shows how much passion. I mean, he used to. I'll never forget when he made the. I think it was the Texas Air Forces, and he would put the paper on to get the white check and the brown. Like Barbito is definitely a street ball legend. Definitely a sneaker connoisseur. Definitely a great guy.
Yeah, I
Definitely-
see him all the time.
Definitely a great DJ. Stretch and Barbito, I feel started even though it wasn't a podcast, they started the way for us.
Culture.
They
They did.
They brought that about.
They really did.
They really put a lot of artists on and really, like I said, I mean, Barbito is just that dude, But I mean, as far as just being involved in sneakers, like I said, there was just a lot of us growing up. So, later on, I started a site called Sneaker Tube. It's like a video hub site that's user generated. I love food. I'm Italian. I grew up,
Cooking.
mom cooking every fucking Sunday. You got the braciole ready, got the baked ziti, the
Hey, you
fucking
gotta see
ricotta,
his-
the mozzarella.
You got to see his Periscope. Cooking, just everything. Everything.
So through sneakers, just form a relationship. Me and Bum B get together, form a fucking food website.
Okay.
Called You Gotta Eat This.
Okay.
We just recently launched You Gotta Drink This, which is, both of these things are very pause-worthy, which is crazy. We actually spoke about this, Bun spoke about this live at A3C one time, me and 3Plug Maceo from De La Soul.
Uh-huh.
And they were like, yo, the kid who is like the pause deputy,
Uh-huh.
me and him create the most pause-worthy thing. Like, I'll never forget, Bum B's wife, her name is Queenie. Great woman. She literally, when we launched the site, we got like 100 T-shirts, and then we had the logo. It was called "You Gotta Eat This."
Right.
And Bum was like, "Yo, hey Queenie, I was on the phone. You gotta wear this." And she's like, "What the fuck? I look like wearing this type of shirt?" And she's like, "What the fuck?" Bun's like, "What are you talking about? This is me and Pete's site. You ain't gonna support this shit?"
Uh-huh.
And she's like, "Yo, B, what I look like wearing a shirt that says "You gotta eat this"? You know what I mean?"
Right.
She's like, motherfuckers like come up on me like thirsty as a fucking and we're like, shit, you're right.
Yeah, this is
You're
true.
right. Like a woman walking around with a shirt that says "You gotta eat this." You know what I mean?
That's
You know you're gonna get fucking dirty fucking motherfuckers like KO coming, trying to fucking be all sexist on her.
I'm gonna say, hey, wait a minute.
Okay, I'm
Hold
sorry, I'm
on.
sorry.
No, that's the first thing I'm gonna say if I see the shirt. Like, hey, wait a minute.
Can
Are
I?
you sure?
Is that an invitation?
Until Bun walk up on me like, yo, Bun, chill. No disrespect.
Yeah, so so those like I'm glad to say through passions of I've been able to create a lot of things and build brands and I did do a lot of other things too, trading commodities when I was young and
Okay.
worked in the city, it just really wasn't me working that 9 to 5, and it's tough being a freelancer.
You did the boiler room thing?
No. It's funny people will say that, but no. I did the legit thing. I worked for
Okay.
Prudential. I worked for Merrill Lynch. I worked
Gotcha.
for.
Gotcha.
I worked for some great companies. I made some good money
You didn't get the stupid questions like your dad don't own a garbage company, a construction company.
all
none
the
of that
time.
stuff?
You know what's so crazy? Here's the craziest thing about race, or should I say race wars, or race talk. Growing up, like. I always like people like here. I'll give you an instance. Like if you talk about Chinese or you talk about like a Jewish people, or even you talk about black people, you talk about Indian people. If you make any type of stereotype, people get mad.
Yeah.
Especially in 2015. But meanwhile, I say to myself, I go, people have been making Italian fucking comments for years. Like I say, if I say like, would you like a gefilte fish sandwich? People are like, yo, you fucking, that's racist.
Right.
But meanwhile, people like say to me when I tell my name, my last name, people are like, oh, what are you, part of the mafia?
Exactly.
Or and I'm like, that's kind of fucking racist,
This is
Or I
true.
used to get like, no, not used to get. Currently, over the past couple of years, people will say like, oh, what are you, part of Jersey Shore? Listen. Nobody fucks with Jersey Shore. Those are half of those people on Jersey. I'm sorry, there's only like 1 or 2 real Italians on Jersey Shore.
Yeah, I've
all
heard
of them
that.
are fucking Albanian or fucking Like, and nothing against Albanians, you know, they got some good pussy. Some of those
Yeah,
girls.
you ain't lying.
Yeah, but-
hey, look at Kanye.
Yeah, I mean, shit.
Hey,
The only thing I don't like about Albanians is like they got like fucking hair on their forehead. You know what I mean? Like I don't like fucking girls like that. You know what I mean? So
And I got criticized heavy one time, pause, for when I was doing the radio show and I talked about Indian men. I said Indian men are so stern, they're so bossy, sometimes even at the 9 to 5s, and I'm like, yo, fuck you, I'm not listening to you. And they came down on me heavy, pause, like, chill, you can't talk about any different stereotypes. I still did it any fucking way. I didn't give a shit.
they were mad you were talking about Indian women?
Indian men, how they fucking assholes. Because
Oh.
I had a couple that were bosses doing the 9 to 5 thing. And I said, I can't fucking stand them. They think they're really the shit.
Well, yeah.
That's
yeah.
not a generalization, though. That's from your experience.
Right.
I mean, if you're speaking out of experience, I mean, look, I also worked in the trucking company for a couple of years. I worked at night.
Uh-huh.
It was terrible. I hate working at fucking night.
Uh-huh.
And so a lot of the bread, you know, that we used to, you know, deliver to these stores, a lot of them were Indian owned. And,
Right.
and these guys, I mean, they were fucking terrible, man. I was
See?
like, they were acting like gangsters. I was like, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
Like they're like, you know, like I remember like bringing in like, you know, bread, and they're like, you know, internets will kill me for this one, but they were like, how many bread are fucking here? And I was like, excuse me, you don't even say good morning, or anything?
Right.
Like, you know. I need the fucking bread very fucking soft.
See?
I was like, yo, have you even felt the fucking bread?
Right.
And they're like, you know, they you know, the problem with them is I don't like people like that, and the Russians are like that too, and a lot of people like that. I don't like people who look at people like, oh, you just work here? Nah, you fucking nothing. I need fucking boss. You know, like if you just come in, like, you know, they want to treat you like, you know, like you're nobody.
Right.
Even if you fucking, you know, at the end of the day, you know, in the work field, I mean, even if you're just a regular worker or a manager or whatever, but you still should treat people with some type of respect.
Of course.
I
Got
mean,
to.
I feel like, you know, that's the thing these days. Like, if you don't respect somebody, how the fuck are you gonna expect respect back?
This is true.
You
This
know?
is very true. This is why I stay away from them. Like I said, they came down on me for talking about them. I didn't give a shit. I still kept doing it.
Don't you talk about?
They're assholes.
Okay.
But my parents actually from Trinidad.
Have you ever slept with an Indian woman?
Never.
Oh,
Never.
forget about it.
Never.
Let me tell you something. Indian women, man, you sleep with them, most of them will you'll get that fucking smell of curry. You know? Yeah, I'm dead serious, man.
I don't want it. Wait, the ones with the dot on their head?
I didn't say that.
Okay.
I didn't take, you know, all due
I'm just-
respect.
I'm
Allah,
just asking.
You know,
I'm just asking.
Allah, you know, but
What about you, Pete? You ever slept with a Indian woman?
My past is kind of varied, so
guy.
maybe.
Hey.
yeah, no, I definitely slept with. Listen, that's one thing I love is that I was able to differentiate. Like I used to wake up and really feel like, damn, I want to sleep with a fucking like a Chinese girl today, man, or like.
I never did.
Yeah. Oh, I want to
never.
sleep. Like so, I've done so many, slept with so many different races,
Right.
and
And that was out of curiosity?
just out of like, I don't know if it's like passion or like,
Right.
like kind of like, you know, I love exoticness, and
Right.
and you know, and I love, and I just love, you know, I mean, let me be real, I love pussy. You know what I mean?
Hey,
Yeah.
who
I mean,
doesn't?
every man in this room
shit.
should.
Who does
Shit.
it? I'm just saying. Who
Fucking
doesn't?
right.
So I you know, and I know some of this was actually just thoughts. Like, you know, we
Right.
could wake up and say, I want to fuck the prince. You know, hey, hold up.
Whoa,
Hold up.
Hey,
Hold up. I mean,
hey, yo,
God damn. Shit.
Yo,
That fucking Cabernet is starting to sink
hey,
in.
yo,
Pete the engineer caught that one.
hey, yo.
That was a good pause. That was a fucking mega pause.
Yeah,
We can wake up and say we want to sleep with the princess.
True.
Is what I
true.
meant. But that can't have fucking really happened.
Right.
But I was destined to believe that these things could happen.
but that's the
course.
beauty of New York.
And they did.
Yes.
And they
New
did.
York City allows these things to all come to fruition if you seek it out and or headstrong into making these things happen. They will happen for you.
And I thought about that in the projects. That girl from the 8th floor. Yeah. So it always worked. So you're right.
I think that, you know, the smooth is the way to be.
Of course.
You know, and you know, it's like you know, we're grown men and we're older, and you know, and I just think that, you know, when you're really real about it and you're very passionate about it, you know, and that's what has worked for me, you know, until I got tied down. But, you know, I definitely have slept with so many different nationalities, and it was a choice of mine, and
Mhm.
I'm so glad that I was able to do that.
So before getting into your passions, take us back to when you was a kid, growing up in Brooklyn. Was it tough? A lot of fights, a lot of interracial conversations, a lot of interracial aggression going on where you grew up at?
Well, I grew up in Coney Island.
Okay.
So it was different for me, and I always thank that, you know, I thank God or my family that I grew up in Coney Island, because it made me a different man.
Right.
It made me, you know, because at the end of the day, I'm Italian, right? But I'm
Right.
white,
Right.
right? You know, if I would have grown, if I would, like, so for instance, when I was 14, we moved to Bensonhurst. If I would have grew up in Bensonhurst the whole way, maybe I probably wouldn't be here sitting with you today.
Yeah, this is true.
You know, and because I probably wouldn't have seen the culture in a melting pot as I did in Coney Island. It would have made me the man I am today. It would have made me I'll give you an example, and I say this all the time. I grew up in Coney Island until I was 14, so I hung out with everybody on 23rd Street, 33rd Street, 17th Street, Neptune, Mermaid, everywhere. So I had all different friends, whether that be, you know, if it was white guys, black guys, you know, whatever. I had friends from everybody from fucking John to Tyrone to Kanish.
Right.
So, you know, when I moved to Bensonhurst, and then, you know, we were playing like Sega Genesis. So after school, I was like, yo, you know, come to the house. And then, like, I'll never forget, like, a day later, there was, like, this Italian guy who was like, hey, Pete, come here. Let me fucking talk to you for a second. I was like, what's going on? Yeah, you know, you're kind of new to this neighborhood, but you can't have those type of people here.
Wow.
And I was like, what type of people are you talking about? And these are my friends.
Right.
They've been my friends. So I never saw I didn't understand what he meant until I had to really understand what he meant.
Right.
Because these have been my friends. This is not something that I just tried yesterday. I almost was confused at that. And then I'll give it back to a point of when I went to Bensonhurst, and I said this the other day with Big Daddy Kane. When I was young, I went to the barber in Bensonhurst, and I was like, yo, give me 3 cuts in my eyebrow.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, yo, what are you trying to be, black? And I was like, nah, I'm just trying to be like Kane.
Right.
Because he inspired me.
Right.
But they couldn't see past that. You know, I guess to bring it back, you know, there was a lot of racial tension.
Right.
Those were the days of Yusuf Hawkins when he
Yeah.
got killed.
Yeah.
You know, those are the days when Al Sharpton was marching on 20th Avenue, got stabbed.
Yeah.
So, you know, for me, it's like, I thank Coney Island to see, you know, I mean, my uncle owned the go-karts.
Mm-hmm.
It was a hustle business. You know, and so I seen all, you know, we had people working with us that, you know, of color, you know, that
Right.
were black, that were Puerto Rican, you know, that were fucking Russian. And so I seen different races. You know, they ate with us, you know,
Right.
because they made with us, you know,
Right.
with money. And, you know, I was able to see the D-boys, and back in the day, there was B-boys, and back in the day, it was bag ladies. Bag ladies were big in Coney Island. And so, you know, when I moved to Bensonhurst, it was totally different. You know, it was totally, you know, I understand it. I love that it gave me that gangster type mentality. But I was always that different type of dude. So, you know,
Right.
growing up like that, that's, you know, I feel like that made me, you know, I went from, like I said, seeing people on the corner selling crack, you know, to seeing Italian guys washing their Cadillac with rags, you know.
Right.
And, you know, talking about, like, you know, hey, get the fucking prosciutto and mozzarella over here, you know.
Right.
But at the same time, I always say this, and I have to say this to the audience of
Drinks and conversations.
drinks and conversations.
There you go.
Formerly known as cocktails, pause, and conversations. But, you know, put it this way. Michael Jordan is an amazing athlete, an icon, a motherfucking icon.
Yes.
Right.
Italian people, okay, and I don't want to say Italian people, white people at that time in Bensonhurst back in the 80s, early 90s.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is not new, but racism was so alive, especially black and white.
Right.
I found it amazing that they would hate on somebody like, you know, a black person, and then meanwhile love Michael Jordan. The point I'm trying to make is, like, I would see Italian people or white people, dip the fuck out in like a Jordan jersey, shirts, sneakers, and meanwhile they didn't like black people, but they're fucking wearing everything that represented Jordan, who was a black person.
Yeah, that was nuts.
And you think about it too, even today, the way people line up for sneakers, kill over sneakers, kill over Jordans. Let's be real.
Kill over
Right.
Jordans is.
And meanwhile, they never seen him play a game of basketball.
Never.
Ever.
The youngins would never understand.
How powerful is that?
Marketing, reputation, word gets out. That's it.
It's part of the culture now, because now it's not even something that they have to think about, because it's been ingrained in them from when they were little.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you grew up wearing Jordans. You know, it's not like they had any other alternative in their minds, because their mother introduced them to them, and that's all that they wore all of their lives. But they have never actually seen a game, as opposed to, say, like Premium Pete, who's grew up probably wearing pro players and probably wearing pro kids, and they moved up in the ranks as far as the many different types of sneakers. These kids today don't have that. They don't have that.
Yeah, you're right.
They never grew up with that.
They jump right into the hot pot.
Yeah, they that's because the young mothers they dress them up how they want them to appear, as opposed to yours or my mother or Kale's mother would dress us as accordance to
What they could afford.
what could they afford. At
My
that point.
my mother brought me Olympians. And Olympian,
I remember Olympians.
they used to say rejects. They
Yeah.
cost $1.99.
Yeah, I remember.
Rejects. They make your feet feel fine. Rejects.
I
They
never
make
had
your
a
mother
pair.
save a
You
dime.
probably did,
Rejects.
but you probably didn't know.
I had Pumas, Saucony's.
See,
Yeah.
but you see that's
Saucony. They were
Yeah.
actually called.
Saucony.
Actually, I didn't
Saucony.
realize
It
that.
was Saucony, but
That's
in the
what it's
hood,
called?
in the hood before you've seen Saucony, you've seen Spot Built.
Yes.
Right.
Or Elise.
Or,
Yeah.
Or
it is.
Le Cog Sportif.
Yeah, Le Cog is
Or
Sportif.
Bally.
That's some
Yeah.
real '87 shit right there.
Yeah.
Or Bally,
You had to really have some money to get some Bally's.
I mean, you had to be a hustler.
Yeah, you that was a signature thing, that if you was wearing Bally's all the time, that you was out there getting money.
So you grew up in this melting pot. How sensitive was the N-word growing up?
It was out there a lot. It was something. It's funny because me and Combat speak about this on multiple episodes over the years.
Mm-hmm.
The reason I don't use the N word is because it's derogatory.
Right.
It's something that It's not that I think white people. This is the problem that I have with white people, and they think they're missing out on something because they're not using the N word.
Right.
You used it throughout slavery.
True.
Okay.
This is true.
Why would you want to use a word like that? If black people get to use it, but we, motherfucker, you're not missing out on anything. Okay, it was used for such humiliation, such disgusting type of behavior.
Right.
Fucking, you're not losing out. That's the problem with some, and let me say some white people, because even I tell my daughter too. I was telling my daughter, a lot of people say oh, that's some white people shit.
Mm-hmm.
I always tell people, nah, that's some white people you seen doing that shit.
Right.
That's not me. I don't do that shit.
Right.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I feel like we should always judge people as we see them.
Right.
But at the end of the day, too, white people using the N-word, to me, it shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
You're not losing anything.
Right.
The blacks are not winning more than you because okay? People are judged as themselves.
Right.
And I like to say, oh, well, they get to use it like they get in the upper hand. Do you remember the thing called slavery? It's called white guilt. It's called white privilege. Something that I never knew existed because I never really accessed mine.
Right.
But shit, if I could access it, I'm going to use it for fucking all the right people.
I had a guy I used to work with when I used to do when I used to be a cable technician. We go get our equipment
Cable
in the
guy?
morning. Yeah. I was
Oh,
this
yeah,
fucking
he's got
cable
many-
guy.
Porn?
many,
Used to get that
many-
porn stations?
He
Let me
got
tell
many
you.
stories as far as that.
I
whole
Booty and the
thing.
Beast?
Woo!
I hated the job so much.
Forrest Hump?
I would talk about the funny shit that would happen
He got a
while
lot
I
of-
was on an appointment.
He's
Oh
got a
man.
lot of
Let me ask you
stories.
something right off the bat.
Uh-huh.
Did you ever fuck a...
Yes. Yes,
Yes?
I have.
Yeah,
Yes, I have.
That's one of
Yes,
them.
I have.
Yes, Kale.
Yes, I
Yes.
have.
How did that go down?
Oh, it was a different one.
How did that go down?
One was
it's a
the last
twist.
one I slept with was the blind one.
Okay.
I noticed she had a keyboard, big numbers on the keyboard. For some reason, the cable box in the living room, I had to swap it out, put another cable box in. She said, "Oh, there's a cable box in my bedroom that's not working." I'm like, "You're blind. How can you watch TV?" But anyway, long story short, she had a keyboard with big letters on it. And I said, "Well, everything is fine." Next thing you know, the lady started touching me on my shoulders.
Yeah.
We started talking. The next thing you know, my zipper was going down, and that was that.
Hey, listen.
It was great.
Charge that to the game.
Hey.
It was great.
My future brother-in-law, shout out to Ward. Okay, he works for Comcast, and I ask him all the time, "Yo, when you gonna fuck a fucking customer?"
Yeah, he
man?
ain't gonna tell
like,
you.
yo, because he's like, sometimes, man, I hate this fucking job. I'm like, yo, if you hate it, sometimes you just gotta reap the benefits of
Yes.
it, man. You know, you come in.
Yes.
Sometimes these ladies are in their nightgowns, man.
Yes.
And you know what? They may need something. Why not? Why
Yes.
not? Why not? Why not give them an extra channel?
Hey, you're the service
I'm
technician.
gonna tell you some of the funny shit I used to do. Let's say your modem is not working properly. I gotta use your laptop to run a test. I will go when they're not looking. I will go into their history, and the amount of dudes that greet you with the "Yo, what's up, man? Yeah, my computer's right there." You think they're cool? A lot of them be looking at those homo porn sites
Really?
on their computers.
Really?
I used to go through their history and see it
Nailandbob.com?
all. Oh man, it was off the hook.
Is that your
And
name?
I'm looking
Was
at
that-
them funny like, okay. Let me just swap out this modem pause and get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
Like, that's it.
Yeah.
But you'd be surprised a lot of shit that go on in people's homes.
Yeah, well, listen,
A lot.
congrats to you for fucking Helen Keller. Okay?
Oh man, yo, that was great. It was fucking great. Great. If I could go back, I would.
I mean, listen, you
No
know,
lie.
The hustle, the hustle in the day job is definitely something that, you know, it makes you appreciate things.
Yeah, this
You know,
is true. The
as
one
you-
thing I did hate, though, going back to what I was going to say, I had a guy I used to work with, black dude. We used to go get our equipment. The guys that was handing us our equipment were white. He'd be like, "Yo, what's up, my niggas?" And I'm like, I'm looking at him like, "You're fucking ignorant.
What's
Like,
wrong with
shut
you?"
up." But then one of the guys, Nick, who I can't stand because he's just a fucking asshole, he'd be like, "Yo, Kurt, what's up, my nigga?" And I'm like, "Yeah, what's up, Nick? What, you mad because I'm using the N-word? Trell uses it." I'm like, "Yo, whatever, Nick. Bye."
Yeah, that's another thing too. Listen, white people, okay? I hate white people who think like they got a pass. Like, oh, he said it's okay, I could use it. Listen, okay? Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, just please.
Don't worry.
It's not
There's
cool.
so many fucking words you could use.
This is
okay?
true.
You don't need to use a word that was used for what it was used. Think about what you're saying. And I don't give a fuck if somebody else is using it. You know what I mean?
And I hardly use it.
You're just a follower at that point.
Yeah, I mean, basically. And at the end of the day, too, you know, like I said, it's just what it was used for was something that why would you even want to use the word?
Mm-hmm.
Why would you even want to say that?
This is true.
You know? So, I mean, to me, it's like, you know, it's just stupidity.
Now, how did you actually get started in doing podcasting? What were you actually doing before podcasting?
Well, growing up in my teenage years, I really never knew what I wanted to do.
Okay.
But from moving to Bensonhurst and, you know, being around a lot of, like, you know, that gangster lifestyle,
Mm-hmm.
I definitely wanted everything that was flashy.
Right.
That's what I wanted. I didn't know how I was going to get it,
Right.
but, you know, that's what I wanted. So I definitely got into, you know, I did a paper route for a while.
Okay.
But there wasn't a lot of money in that shit, you know. Paper route's tough, it's struggle, it's fucking raining. You got people who short you, nobody tips you.
I mean, Puff made the best of it. But,
Yeah.
you know.
I mean, look what he did. Now you got that fucking that Ciroc juice, you know. That fucking.
I really don't believe it.
What is 50
Honestly,
called?
I don't
What
believe
is
it.
50 called? That puffy juice?
Yeah.
You know, 50's
He's a wild
yeah,
boy,
yeah, he's a
man.
wild boy. But you know, I worked regular jobs like that, and then I got caught up hustling,
Okay.
trying to just, you know, I guess just trying to get more than I could get faster than I could get.
Mhm.
Just being impatient.
Right.
You know, that's why I always preach patience to my daughter, because when you don't have patience, man, it'll really fuck you up. You
And,
know?
and a plan.
Yeah, and a plan. I mean, but you know, it's so hard for young kids to have a plan. I remember, you know, I didn't have a plan, and so you know, get into podcasting and come to way, you know, later on. But you know, I traded commodities. I worked in the financial industry.
This was before hustling?
In between. So I started hustling and then got out.
Okay.
I got in trouble and went to a group home, and went to a group home in Staten Island actually. And
What was the agency?
It was called Task Treatment After.
Okay. I used to work with kids in the group home.
Yeah, and then I went to actually Camelot.
Okay.
It was in Staten Island. It was like a
Okay.
residential drug program. Because I got caught with drugs, and
Right.
back then you just say like, "Yeah, I'm
on
a
drugs.
user,"
That's
you know.
it.
And they're like, "Okay, we will keep you out of jail." And I was
Right.
like, "Yes."
How was that experience? Because I know you was in another melting pot there.
Young and different.
Okay.
And it was weird because it was like a lot of the kids, like that's when I started to realize other places of the same type of people of hip hop.
Right.
Of hustling, of the same lingo, of but then also I seen like 15-year-old kids that were on heroin,
Yeah.
and I was like, fuck, this is kind of crazy,
Yeah, that's rough.
and then I would see people without no mothers and fathers, and I would see Latin kings and nietas, that were crying in groups because they didn't have no mothers or because their father made their mother strip or their father used to beat their mother, and I was like, holy shit, or because or because they were touched
Yeah.
as kids, and I was like, holy shit, like his like fucking like big nietas fucking gang members, and they over here balling.
Mm-hmm.
So
You'd be surprised.
it was definitely a weird, scary thing. So after that, I wound up getting in straight. I did well in that program. And I was getting awards and shit like that.
Right.
Yeah, for just fucking. I was helping people out and going home with them and being escorts.
Right.
Well, let me just say, not escort like you buy like a woman type shit.
Oh.
Right.
Yeah. I actually may have the worst pause on here ever with that Prince drop.
We're not going to go back to that.
Well, the
Let's just
escort
go
thing
forward.
wasn't really a pause worthy.
Not
so we
really,
we can
but
let that go.
that's why I
But
was
yeah,
kinda
because when I
delayed.
mention escorts, I think of like fucking
Right.
hoes. Okay?
That's why I was delayed. It was a delayed pause.
So I wound up going to work. My father worked in the financial industry, and they actually offered me a job to become a counselor
Really?
at that group home. Yeah.
Okay.
They wanted me to go for my CSAC, which is like certified substance abuse counselor.
Yeah.
I had to get a certain amount of hours, which I did.
Right.
But the pay was like $16,000 a year.
Sucks.
You mean shitty?
Yeah.
It sucks.
And my father was like, yo, I had met with like some Japanese guys, and they loved me. Like, they loved my style and the way I was moving around, and I knew where to go to get stuff. And they're like, hey, we would love to bring him on, and they offered me like $35,000 or $40,000, and I was like fucking 18 years old. I was like, fuck, I'm going here.
It's a no-brainer.
Yeah, so I went there and stayed there for a while, and it was good. It was a great experience. It was like I was young. I was getting like company cars home, and it was a different type of feel wearing a suit.
Right.
And let me say, wearing a suit makes you feel fucking special.
Or a detective, one of the two.
Yeah, I don't ever want to feel like that though.
Nah. You're not one of those detectives that's kind of
Or fed.
overweight and stuff like that and get pushed
Nah,
over.
the detectives and feds are the worst dressed people in the world. They're like the
Sloppy.
only people that wear like a Jets hat and a Raiders jersey, and think like you're not supposed to know who the fuck they are.
Like, you're
man.
fed. Hello.
We
Yeah.
can spot them easy.
We see you.
Like, who doesn't see you?
Yeah. So so I went there and worked there for a couple of years, and then I just got tired of it. I just got tired of it, and I got laid off after September 11th.
Okay.
And
Right.
I wanted to start my own thing, and I just wound up staying home too long.
And that's when the hustling began.
And I began hustling again. Yeah,
Okay.
because I had a lot of friends that had great businesses in hustling.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they had businesses where it was like beepers and phones.
Right.
So we had like phone numbers, and like they would literally get called all day.
Right.
We had to shut the phone off at night.
Wow.
If we had a beeper and we turned it on, it would fucking vibrate across the whole fucking room.
Shit.
That's how many customers were calling. It was that big of a business. So if you worked it, and I got myself into a little jam, and I was gambling, and I was like, yo, I need a couple $1,000. And with this business, you can make $2,000 a day.
Easy.
But what happened was I wound up being selfish, and I wound up, making that money I needed, and then staying there for an extra 3 months. And getting busted. And I already had got busted before from that group home.
Right.
So it was a second time offense.
Right.
So they had to give me, time.
Now, this is all in the 80s. Or was it the
No,
90s?
90s.
In the 90s,
Yeah,
okay.
90s,
okay.
yeah.
I mean, it was still heavy then. Crack was still heavy.
Yeah, it was big, man. I mean,
Yeah.
crack was so big, that, like, the thing that saddens me about crack is, like, you would go meet a customer, and he would be, like, 6'5", 300 pounds, and he would be short $2, and you'd be like, "What the fuck are you short $2?" He'd be like, I'm sorry."
Right.
And you're like, "Yo, any given day, this motherfucker will squeeze my head and fucking punch me in the fucking face."
Yeah.
But
it's
meanwhile,
true.
here you are, this fucking, bullshit crack dealer,
Uh-huh.
and all of a sudden you're feeling yourself
Uh-huh.
because he's short $2. And,
Were you great at it?
I was very good at it.
Like you felt bossed up
I did, but I actually felt bad.
because of what it was
Because you would-
doing to
'cause,
the community.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just wanted to make money. I sold Nick bags, of weed back in the day, so
Right.
that was simple and that was cool. And then I
Yeah.
sold acid. I got into everything. Sold
Right.
ecstasy, but like, the crack, the powder and the cook was the biggest business,
Yeah.
and I want the fast money, and I'm not saying, I'm sitting here saying, and I mean this, I knew what I was doing,
Right.
and I was liable for what I was doing, but now that I think about it, not saying now, but over the years, I thought, like, that's something that I always regret.
I mean,
He's not
everybody thought
advocating
that.
this, children. He's not advocating
No.
this.
But everybody thought that. I mean, I used to go to when I was in high school. I was a skinny kid with glasses, wanted to impress the chicks. I would take like my pops used to work as a plumber. I'd take one of his non-working beepers, put it on my pocket, and I would take soap, and I would take Ivory soap, and I would cut it up real small and fine. And my man had like gold top bottles, and I put in the gold top bottles, and I'm like, "Yeah, what's up? Yeah, I'm getting money, fronting." 'Cause
Shit.
that's what everybody was doing.
Shout
I'm
out
out
Gold
here.
Top Productions.
I'm out here top billing.
Right, and I wasn't making shit. The beeper, I switched the on and off switch constantly. Oh, your beeper going off. I'm like, yeah, I can't make this call right now. Fronting. I mean, but like you said, after a while, you think about it, it's like, you're doing it for what?
Status, man. I don't know, money.
Girls.
girls. You get caught up. You get caught up. But I will say, I do like this new age world because there's so many ways to make money now.
Right.
You don't have to hustle. Even like when we talk about sneakers, like there's kids flipping sneakers that they wear. Like people are wearing
Yeah,
sneakers
that's-
one or
that's-
two times and then flipping it. Like, and people ask me, how do you feel about people who resell? Man, fucking, if they have something legitimately to make money with, I bless them, because back then I didn't have all those
Yeah.
and you guys, like, there wasn't that many opportunities. I mean, obviously you could work, but if you were a fucking impatient asshole, there wasn't a lot of opportunities to make money. That's why I tell people, if you hustle, go and get into real estate. Like, you come home from jail,
Right.
and you look for places. If you're a hustler, get into selling sneakers. Work sales. Work real estate. If you could sell drugs, you could sell anything.
Well, was real estate an idea for you?
I was thinking about that, but I didn't have the
It takes too
patience.
long.
I
You gotta
didn't
go to
have the
school.
fucking
You
patience.
gotta learn the lingo. It's a headache. I
Yeah.
thought about it.
I did think about it, and I thought I would be great at it because I'm a people person.
Right.
If I like people, I like them. If I don't like them, I don't fucking like you.
Right.
But I felt that I would be great for it, but I didn't get into it because I didn't want to fucking take the time.
Right.
So,
So when you were incarcerated,
mhm.
how long were you in for?
I did
Pause.
3 years.
3 years.
Yeah.
Flat.
Yeah.
Okay.
I did multiple times, 10 days, 15 days, 14 days, 7 days. But the biggest bid I ever did was 3 years.
Okay.
And one of those whole years was in the box.
Shit.
So I did a whole year in the box.
Fighting? Cursing guards out?
It was on top. It was disobeying a direct order.
Oh, sounds like me.
It was scuffling with the COs.
Sound like me.
And it was contraband. I got caught with
Something I'll probably get into.
yeah. So that's something I wasn't supposed to have.
Right.
As you can see, it's real easy to get in the box.
So I got in the box from disobeying the direct order. Was 30 days in the box, and then I had a hearing while I was in the box, and that's when they hit me with all those months.
Shit.
So it was one of the worst times I ever had, but actually one of the greatest times because I was able to reflect on everything.
Now, how'd your family feel? You being
That's the thing
incarcerated?
too. I think people go to jail, or they're out here hustling. I do what I got to do for my kids, and they don't realize that when you go to jail, you bring your family to jail.
Yeah.
Because they got to worry about you. They got to think about you. I got to come visit you.
Right.
And which means everything, you know. And you know, you miss things, man. You miss life. You miss holidays. You know, you miss a lot of things. So my family was very supportive, man. If it wasn't for my family, I wouldn't be here today. You know, and I don't mean about no money, because we didn't come from a lot of money, but you know, just the support, man. Just the willing to travel 10 hours each way.
Shit.
You know, I mean, I mean, my grandmother is 90. She's gonna be 94.
Okay.
When she was 80, you know, this was about 83.
That's the one I was asking questions on Periscope?
Yes.
Okay.
When she was 83, I mean, that's still old. She was traveling 10 hours each way on a bus to come see me. And that's something very special.
Right.
You know, that's something that means a lot. And because when you're away, you look forward to the mail. You look forward to a visit. And you look forward to, you know, but the problem is people don't learn how to come home and stay home. You know, there's no really, that's something I want to work on. I spoke to a lot of people. I just got to figure out who and how and where and what to do. You know, creating something sometimes is tough. You know, you don't really know where to start. You know, like I spoke to Raymond Santana from the Central Park Five.
Yes.
You
Dope
know,
episode, by the way, too.
Yeah, I mean, definitely eye-opening. I want to work with him on doing something like, I spoke with John Forte.
Right.
I spoke with. There's so many people I spoke with.
John Forte has been more than blessed.
Yeah,
to get
you
a
know,
new start.
especially when Patterson stepped up and granted him that pardon.
Pardon, yeah.
He granted
That
him
was
that pardon.
huge.
That was on the low.
Pause. Yeah.
Well, hey, he was messing with what's that girl's name, man? He was messing with that girl, man.
Carly Simon.
Carly Simon.
Yes.
Carly Simon.
She holds
Carly
weight.
Simon holds motherfucking weight. Can we say that again?
Man, I can't blame him. I tap. I'm not
Fucking
gonna
with them
lie.
white girls.
Yeah, I tap. I'm not gonna lie to
KO
you.
get them fucking that salt and pepper bed up in that pussy. You know?
I'm so vain.
You know?
I tap. I ain't gonna lie to
Probably
you.
think this song is about
Yo,
you.
she wrote letters on his behalf.
Yes.
Yo.
And put up property for his bail. Put up houses. So you know.
I don't even want to know what he did to her to
He's-
get her to do
he-
that
good
for
friend.
him.
He's a good friend.
He had to motorboat that thing.
Yeah.
I don't
You
know
know?
what
Yeah.
he did, but
He's a good friend.
She went.
Why
she-
not?
That's it. He's a good friend.
See, good friends is one thing. That's something else.
He's a good friend. He's a good friend.
Like I said, that's something else.
I mean, he
you
lucked
get,
up.
You get somebody to put up their house, several houses for you, and you go to bat for them constantly. It's something else going on between you two.
Wow. I mean, hey, it is what it is. It is what it is. I mean, he got out. He's home. That's the best part. I mean, and he's staying out of trouble.
True. I mean, you know, he just got jammed up with that whole, conspiracy thing. That was
Yeah.
the whole thing, you know.
So now you did your 3 years,
Mm-hmm.
and you're home. What's the first step?
I guess trying to find myself, you know, like I started working like some odd jobs because parole, you know, you had to get a job.
Yeah.
So, you know, I started working some odd jobs, like anything. Like I remember my cousin's friend owned like a carpet cleaning, and I was like, "Fuck, man," you know, I was scrubbing carpets. He was like, "Hello, yeah, we got my dog took pisses in this carpet.
Like,
You know,
God.
we need you to scrub it out." And,
Yeah.
and he's shitting it too.
I know
My
you couldn't
husband
stand
too.
it.
You know, I was like,
Wait a minute, your husband, man?
yeah, I was like, oh man, what am I doing, man? I'll tell you one thing: coming home from jail is it's a very tough thing because sometimes it could get. I understand where people sometimes give up,
Right.
but you have to stay strong. You have to find the way, and you have to go through the struggle to get to the success.
Right.
You know, it's like people like I came home with about 12 people
Okay.
that was from New York
Okay.
that I remember seeing up there.
Uh-huh.
Well, every one of them went back.
Shit.
You know, like Perot told us, like, you got to be in the house by 9 o'clock.
Mhm.
Okay? I got myself a Dominican girl. I got myself DVDs by the fucking boatload.
That's right.
Okay? And I stayed in, and I ate, I fucked, and I watched movies.
Wait, you ate what exactly?
I ate food and pussy.
There you go.
You know?
There you go.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, KO.
Yes.
And you know, a lot of these kids, they were waiting outside.
Right.
A lot of these kids, you know, 9 o'clock came and they were like, you know, they would come at 8 o'clock and they're like, okay, see you later. And then 9 o'clock, they were like, I'm out. And then 9:30, they're outside. and they bust you. You know, little things, just people who, and I understand the problem is that when you come home, and this is why I say there's not enough aftercare for people who come home from jail.
Right.
You know, getting them back into the world,
Mm-hmm.
getting them back into paying bills, getting them back into being responsible,
Right.
and getting them back into, you know, depending what type of record they have, you know, to get a job.
Right.
You know, so I just feel like, you know, I mean, if whatever you want to do, it's possible.
Right.
I just think that you need to hustle. Even this day, I tell people this day, if you have a 9 to 5, an 8 to 4, a 10 to 6, whatever you have, you still can find the passion. Like you know, like people start like for instance the cocktails, but pause.
Yeah, pause.
Drinks
Drinks and conversations.
convo, formerly
Cocktails and Convo.
Cocktails and Convo. You know, this could be something, okay?
Right.
And what I mean, you know, it could be a force to be reckoned with. It could be a podcast that really, you know, touches the people. Pause.
Right.
But it takes time.
Right.
But the point I'm making to you is, you could work a regular job. Everybody works. Like, people think that, you know, you need to, you know, like,
Just jump out the window.
The grind never stops.
Right.
Put in your passion slowly but surely.
Right.
And I feel like that's what, and I had so many moments that, you know, I didn't know what the fuck to do. I worked these odd jobs and, you know, was confused. And then I started working in retail and,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and just a lot of odd jobs and really not understanding. But I've always been friends with different people, always been friends with different artists or athletes. And
Just by just knowing them in the street?
Just being known in the street, you know,
Okay.
just being around, just being involved in, you know, sneakers. And, you know, the crazy thing is sneakers have connected me through so many people.
Really?
Just being a fan of them, just
Mm-hmm.
being of the culture. Like, some people ask me, like, "Oh, when did you get into sneaker culture?" And I'm like, "I never got into sneaker culture. I'm of the culture." you
Right.
know?
That's right.
And it's not like I said, like, you know, good morning, I'm gonna get into sneaker culture.
Right.
I hate that, because sneaker culture, like, the thing that people don't understand is with sneakers is that millions of people wear sneakers.
Yeah.
It's true.
That don't give a fuck about sneakers like the way the sneaker culture cares about sneakers.
That's true.
They wear them because, I mean, they don't go out barefoot,
No.
you know.
And no one likes to wear shoes.
Yeah, so
Right.
you know, it's a special bond. I think that. So I started getting involved in that, and you know, we took it from there, and you know, got involved in retail, and you know, definitely dealt with a lot of people. I dealt with, you know, and when I realized how powerful sneakers was when I started to progress in them, is like when I started to meet people like Christian Slater,
Wow.
or Michael Douglas, or Peter Gation,
Right.
or Drake in the
Right.
beginning, you know, or Tiana Taylor in the beginning.
Mhm.
Tiana Taylor introduced me to Drake.
Oh, shit.
You know, in the beginning,
Right.
I didn't even know who he was.
Right.
This is way before So Far Gone and everything, you know.
Right.
But even going back to, you know, so many people like golfers and this is when I really knew, is when I had sneakers and I had connections. I worked in retail.
Mm-hmm.
And they would like come up to me and, you know, like, "Yo, do you got these Air Forces, or you got these SBs?" And I'm like, "Nah, we don't got them, but we may get them back." And they're like, "Take my number."
Shit.
And I'm like, "Yo, what the fuck, Christian Slater's giving me his number?" I mean, True Romance is one of my favorite fucking movies.
Right.
And the reason why is because you become a necessity.
Right.
And it's that exclusive. It's that tough to get, and you need your connect. It's like drugs almost.
Right.
Or it's like, you know, so I didn't.
I mean,
was
it's
like,
a new hustle now.
yeah, and it just wasn't put out there like that.
Right.
So I found it amazing, and I think that's what helped me become so normal with celebrities, is that, like, it was like I was the guy they were looking for.
Right.
It was like they needed me. You
They
know?
call you.
Yeah. So, you know, that's what became, you know, like, you know, I would have and then you know, not everybody, but then you would build relationships.
Right.
So, you know, and you would take time to, I think, you know, you just gotta be organic with your shit. You know, like, you know, when it's Christmas time and you're friends with somebody, send them a text.
Right.
You know, when it's fucking Easter or Thanksgiving or you
Or
know,
even a birthday.
or birthday, send them a text. You know, and be real. Send them a text and tweet. You know, I think just be real about it. And that's what I did, and build many relationships, and you know, and they a lot of them prosper to this day. I mean, Drake, like I said, I met him Tiana introduced me to him. I was like, oh, I gotta introduce. You know this kid Drake? I'm like, nah. They're like, oh, he's a dope lyricist. And I went up to him. I met him. He was with his manager Oliver, and we talked. And I found out that he was a big sneaker lover. And I happened to be friends with a lot of sneaker guys that have major collections with that wear the same size as he did. And I was able to bless him with a lot. And we spoke multiple times. Like I remember, like I laugh at things now because I remember him texting me, like, "Yo, this is Drake. I met you through Tiana." Like having to explain himself so much.
Right.
Like I need like calling me and I miss his call and I'll call him back. Just seeing the progression, and I recently just sat down with him. He does this thing called HAW. It's Youth and Appreciation Weekend, and he did a tribute to Bun B on one of those days, and they actually flew out all his friends, all Bun B's friends. It's a surprise. I mean, Bun knew about the tribute. He didn't know who was coming, so they flew out like his high school teacher, Bun's high school teacher, me, his publicist, like a couple of people, and Drake did all that. Like they called me up, like Red, his manager, and Drake were like, "Yo, we know you just had a baby, but hey, we haven't seen you in a long time. Would you mind to come out?" And I was like, "Come out where?" And they're like, "Yo, come out to Houston. We're doing this tribute for Bun B, and we want to invite his close friends and family, man." So I was like, most definitely. So it's great to see that shit prosper from back then.
Yeah, from
still
just
to this
sneakers.
day. Yeah.
Now, how'd you meet with Mr. Reggie Osei?
Reggie Osei, I met through Dallas Penn. My brother Dallas Penn. Dallas.
He's a wild boy.
Dallas motherfucking crazy Penn.
Yeah.
Dallas Penn is honestly, I could sit here and say, is my brother.
Okay.
I love that guy. We really care about each other. Well-being and everything. And I met Dallas about over 10 years ago.
And he's honest.
Yeah,
with
he's
who
very
he
honest.
is. He
He's very
doesn't
honest,
sugarcoat shit.
Too fucking honest.
Yeah.
I miss the days of doing the show with him because it was like my job was just to bounce off of the crazy shit he did.
Yeah.
And I love Dallas and he's one of those guys that really want to support like people he believes in.
Right.
So when I had launched that site Sneaker Tube, he had told me like, "Yo, you got to come up to the Combat Jack show." And I was like, all right. So I came up there and I sat down and I was on an episode with Timeless Truth.
Yeah.
And we just kicked the shit, and Reggie really didn't understand about the sneaker culture or what that site was really for, but he sat down and I don't know what the fuck happened, but Dallas was like, "Yo, come back next week," and I came back and at the time we were doing a live show on PNC, and it was like 12 to 2, so I would come there and I'd bring beer and we would drink and chips and snacks and it was I just like fit right in and I just hung around and and I don't know, it just became so natural, and as time came on, I wind up Combat would ask me to get on the mic and like, what was your opinion on
Pause.
something?
Pause.
That was
Good pause.
I caught that one.
Good pause. You guys are doing my job, and I just wind up making a presence more and more, and as time progressed, we wound up moving studios, and then we had but we had a big cast, so. And then, all the way to today where, went down from like 6 or 7 co-hosts to like 2. So
yeah, it was funny with the PNC days. I had a connect that was down at PNC, and she was like, "Oh, I've heard your show. You need to bring your live show to PNC." And I said, "Yeah, let's do it." I would compliment her. Nice looking chick. I forgot her name. She done unfollowed me and all this other dumb shit. But the early days of PNC is when I really started to discover you guys, and I'm like, wow, like this shit is dope. And I really started to pay close attention. And then before you know it, Dallas is gone. Blaze is there. Blaze is gone.
Well, Blaze was in and out.
Yeah, he was because of his busy schedule.
Because he had the helicopter, drop him off.
Yeah,
and all the video games.
They gave him hell about that too.
But it's like, how'd you secure your spot? Like, what was that conversation like?
It was never a conversation.
It just happened.
It just, I just think the episodes and the dedication and the passion made. Like, keep in mind too, Combat Jack Show was thought of and started by and created by A King,
Right.
Who's
Hey, King, what's good, my nigga?
Yeah, you sound like Star.
Yeah, that's my episode right there. That's my episode. Hey, King, what's good, my nigga?
Who was our executive producer, and he, he had this vision and he brought it to Combat, and it was supposed to be like a Dallas Penn featuring Combat or some shit. Like it wasn't supposed to be a Combat Jack show. It was supposed to be like Dallas Penn featuring Combat Jack.
Shit.
And Dallas was like, nah, you do this shit, like, and I'll just be like, and that's Dallas' style too, like, where he's like, if somebody wants to put all the shine on him, you don't
like,
want,
nah, that's too much.
So, Dallas, then Combat, and then, A King. So I'm the person after that.
Okay.
So, everybody else is after me. Okay. So I guess I would just say that I became, part of the household.
Yeah, I mean, it's a beautiful thing that happened because it just evolved into it, because K.O. and I, we were talking as far as how this thing would evolve as far as him and I and all the other co-hosts of this show, and we were trying to see which way we were going to go with it, but I was like, it has to be organic from the start. If you have to force it, if you have to force people to come in, it's not going to work. They have to really love this thing, what they do, even if they're not going to get paid for it, even if they're not going to get acknowledged for it a lot of times, but they have to have the fortitude to see where they want to take it. And it has to be something that you really love. And I can see that that's what you love about the Combat Jack show, and it evolved to involve you, and it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, no, you got to have vision. You got to believe in something before it's something.
Yeah.
If you do believe in something that it could be something, it will become something. And at the end of the day, I think money wasn't the motive. We believed that it could be bigger than it was, and there was many moments and steps that took us there. And people who start podcasts or people who do things, and of course, I mean, the beginning struggle, you're not going to make any money, and it's going to be a struggle, and you don't know where it goes, but you got to believe in something.
Yeah, the love definitely has to be there, because
passion comes first.
Yeah, that's.
I mean, look, everybody wants to make money, but I trust me, I don't make a lot of money. But everyone wants to make money. But I know fucking people with tons of money that are fucking miserable.
But you are good with your life the way it is right now.
Yeah, I mean, I don't need much no more. To be honest with you, like if I could just, I'm a freelancer. Mm-hmm. So 1 month I can make a bunch of money. 1 month I make little money.
Right.
Thank God I have a lady that is consistently making money, and
same thing with Combat too.
Yeah. So I'm thankful for that. My benefits are covered under her, and life insurance if she wants to whack me out. So.
But that's what actually caused my divorce. My passion for wanting to do radio.
Really?
She said,
Fuck
you,
that.
fuck this.
Real. So.
I'm gonna tell you what happened.
Wait, before we get into this, so 1 day a week caused your divorce?
No, it was more than that.
It was more than that. It was already going like in a bad spiral. She was like, "You can't do this broadcasting school thing. You got to work." I said, "Fuck work." So my boy Trev, the one you spoke to, he hooked me up with an exterminating job.
Okay.
I used to go put traps down, talk to the chicks,
sure.
whatever. Fuck all that dumb shit. Fuck this job. I used to sit at that table right there. And I would try to focus so much on everything they were teaching me. But I had to leave to go back to Yonkers where I was living at the time, change my clothes, put on my work uniform, and lay traps down while the other kids was in the other two studios honing their craft. Mm-hmm. So it came down to the finals. I failed the finals. I didn't want to talk to nobody. I got so fucking mad. She called me. She's like, "So, hey, baby, how'd you do?" I said, "I fucking failed." I said, "We got to talk when I get to the house." So I got to the house and I said, "Look, fuck this job shit. Fuck this dumb shit. Everything was fuck this, fuck that." I said, "I'm focusing on my career." She said, "Well, there ain't going to be no marriage." I said, "Well, then fuck you too." And before you know it, I was out the house. She called police on me, everything. Oh, he tried to kill me and all this stupid shit just to get me out.
How long were you married for?
2.5.
2.5 years, yeah.
And we've known each other for 3 years. We were good friends. Everything was great. As soon as the I-dos came.
Yeah, you're almost in the same boat as I am. I was married for 2.5 years. We known each other for, and divorce. Let me tell you something about divorce. I wouldn't wish it on my enemy. Especially when you have kids.
We didn't have any kids.
Yeah, but you know, like divorce is a tough. It's a tough transition,
Right.
And I'm not talking about like property, money, alimony, shit like that. I'm just talking about just settling down with someone you thought that it would be, and then having to reinvent yourself and then go out there, and especially as older people, you know, it's like I don't have time for all that type of shit. Like, you know,
Yeah.
that's why, like, you know, I love ladies, I love pussy,
Right.
Who doesn't?
yeah,
True.
but I don't want to. I don't want to go. I don't want to be on the grind no more.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that's how I feel now. You
Yeah.
know, I mean, who knows, you know, in 10, 15 years from now. But that's how I feel. You know, I feel like I had enough time to do that. And, you know, but you got to, you know, divorce lawyers make the most money right now.
Yeah, they do.
And, you know, it's because people don't stick together, man. So
They don't.
people got to support each other. Like, you know, real talk, I don't think I say this enough, but if you are with someone, you definitely need someone who respects and could understand and see your vision as much as you do.
But this is why I admire about Pete the engineer. He's in his situation with his lady, and he said to us, we did an episode with just him and I,
Right.
because he also is an audio engineer, and we was actually talking about his career, and he said to me, look, my lady said you're not going anywhere even if you wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
And I commend him so much for that, for being in that relationship, because mine said fuck me and I said fuck you, but this is the happiest I've been. The grind is crazy, but this is
Yeah.
the happiest that I've been, because my daughter's 19. I got as much as possible, but now it's just me.
Yeah.
I can do any fucking thing I want,
Yeah.
but except have more babies. I'm not having any more babies.
Yeah.
That's it.
Shop is closed.
Yeah,
That's it.
yeah, you need to.
But I can do anything I want. Anything. I got my start in radio by attending the Connecticut School of Broadcasting. The Connecticut School of Broadcasting has 12 prime locations where you can get your start in audio, video, television, sports, and radio. They have locations in Miami, Palm Beach, Tampa, Orlando, Atlanta, Charlotte, Cherry Hill, New Jersey, Hasbrook Heights, New Jersey, Westbury, New York, Stratford, Connecticut, Farmington, Connecticut, and Boston, Massachusetts. If you want to get your start in audio, video, television, sports, and radio, the Connecticut School of Broadcasting is the way to go. Give them a call at 1-800-TV-RADIO. That's 1-800-TV-RADIO. Anything. So at 39, I'm 42 now. I said, you know what? I'm going to get on the grind, and that's it.
Yeah.
That's why I said you guys were a big inspiration. I said, you know what? I'm going to do what they do.
Yeah.
Not exactly what they do, but I'm going to do what they do.
Most definitely. I mean, you should always want to be inspired by something. And I
Right.
think, like I said, you know, you put in the work and, you know, you keep, you know, doing what you're doing. You know, you never know what comes about on that.
Now, with your lady being so supportive, same question for you too, Pete.
Right.
Both Pete's. So look at that. Anyway, do you guys get headaches from your significant others? Like, this is not going anywhere at times?
Gabby.
As far as my wife is concerned, she gives me grief here and there, but nothing for the most part. She believes that I can do it.
Okay.
She's just like, sometimes it's hard because in any relationship it's going to get hard, especially when you have kids together and you have bills to pay and stuff like that.
Right.
But you both have to have each other's back, because there's a lot of things that she can't do that I do for her in her place.
Mm-hmm.
And we have to do this together.
Right.
Now, she's the first person to say, like, please, it's like that Foxy line, all them collects had me vexed. But when
Right.
you came home, that off was coming off with half of them checks.
Yeah.
And I have no problem giving her a check, be like, all right,
Right.
do you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because and it was a whole lot of times, and it still is a few times in between that it's a lot of things that put itself in position to where she can be like, you know what, you are just not worth it. But she stuck with me, and she foots the bill for a lot of things, and I can't forsake her for anything.
Same thing with your lady?
Yeah, for the most part.
Okay.
For the most part. I mean, especially for me, it's a different style. Because growing up, especially as an Italian dude, I was so always used to taking care of women. I
Yeah.
never, this is the first girl I ever been with that is independent.
Right.
Like, and I mean, that's probably bad on my part,
Right.
So it took a little for me to understand, where I was like, man, I get this check coming in Friday, and she's like, oh, take $500 and pay the bill and just put it back in. And I was like, really?
Wow.
And so, but like you said, when you have kids, you have bills. It's tough. I think the biggest part the biggest problem about being a freelancer is for me is it's not consistent enough.
Yeah, somebody's
And-
always kicking me out of their home.
Yeah, exactly. Rockstar life.
Yeah,
So
all the time.
So
Hey,
you try.
I
So,
live that.
so
I
you
live
try to
that.
be consistent. I just been trying to be more consistent. But you need someone that supports you as you get older, and hopefully you get on and you can put them on. But if you think of one good thing, you gotta think of another.
But it's like you said earlier too. You got to be on your grind. When I'm not doing a podcast, I work a regular job. It's not a 9 to 5, but it's a regular job. And when I'm not doing that, I'm watching these reality shows or outside of reality shows, and I'm tweeting constantly.
Mm-hmm.
I developed a relationship with the Oprah Winfrey Network, TV One, We TV. It's just like countless networks, all because of my opinions when I tweet. Sometimes I lash out at people. Sometimes I'm just agreeing or I'm playing the shucking and jiving game, but it works.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, the hustle and the grind never stops. It
No.
never stops.
Let me say about that whole thing as far as meeting people and relating to people. People take that too lightly, I feel. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a lot of people out there who don't know how to relate to another person.
Right.
And when you have somebody who you've never met before, and y'all haven't even met in real life, to say that we're in a kinship because we think the same.
Mm-hmm.
And you have these people that come along and it's like, oh, nah, that's my friend. You know what I'm saying? And if they'll take it to the next step and involve you in things that they do, you have no idea how powerful that is.
But that's how I felt meeting Pete.
Yeah.
He didn't know me, but he was introducing me to people. But
yeah,
everyone feels they know you because of the podcast.
Yeah, I mean, I can see that,
Right.
And this is, but it's not only, but that's the new age, that we live in,
Right.
People will think they know you because of, the internet or because of, things that you're involved in.
Even the
So.
shower situation.
Nah. That shampoo bottle, shout out to Garnier Fructis.
I find it real funny.
It's Garnier fruit.
Everybody's like, why you always talking about it? They do the same thing with me. Why you talking about it? You get kicked out. That's what we fucking do.
Yeah, exactly.
That's our hustle. That's our experience coming up.
I mean,
Pause.
Yeah. That was a light pause. You didn't need to
Yeah, it really wasn't pause worthy.
Yeah,
I'm
that was
protecting
pause decline.
myself.
That was pause decline.
Yeah.
Now, Trev that you spoke to earlier, shout out to my man Trev from the group home. He used to do the live show with me. He had 3 questions he wanted me to ask you.
Okay.
He said, do you think Combat Jack needs a stylist?
I would think that he would need a stylist as far as those jorts is concerned. I mean, I'm not mad at him for the jort situation, but, don't try to get everybody else involved to co-sign that bullshit.
Yeah. I mean, I think he would do good with a stylist. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Second one, explain the Sriracha sippy cup. You bought Baby Pete. Is there Sriracha in the cup?
No, there's no sriracha. We had put his formula in there. I like sriracha, and I thought that it was dope that they had a sippy cup.
Uh-huh.
And, I'm involved in the food culture. Me and Bun got the
Of
food
course.
site called You Gotta Eat This.
Uh-huh.
And I just launched a social You Gotta Drink This. So,
Oh, okay.
Right.
So me and him, that's both of us. And,
Okay.
and a team. Like we spoke, you need a team, man. You need a team to fucking do things.
Yeah.
You need a team to believe in
You have to
things.
be of one mind.
You can't do it alone.
It's funny you say that because Pete the engineer, he says that to me constantly all the time. I see your vision, and I'm
Yeah.
like, really? But he's honest with what he says. He said, I see your vision. I'm like, okay, and he's been hanging out ever
Yeah.
since.
I mean,
not necessarily hanging out. I've been here promoting.
Well, not hanging out. I mean,
I understand
you
what you're
stuck
saying,
around,
but just
yeah.
those who don't know us.
Yeah,
you
we go
know,
back.
We go back way.
Yeah, we go back.
You know what I'm saying? But
back to the group home.
Back to when I had glasses. That was a cool ball.
Now, did you go for LASIK vision?
Yeah,
Okay.
Dr. Del
How was that,
Russo.
man? You went to Dr. Del Russo.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I went.
How was he?
I went 8 years ago when it was like $8,000 and something. I said, that's too much.
Yeah.
I went 3 years ago.
Mhm.
Dope.
Yeah?
Best thing ever. I've been wearing glasses since '78.
Wow.
So
Fuck gazelles.
I couldn't
No.
even afford it. I didn't want to get
No.
robbed either.
How has it been since you got the laser vision?
It's the best thing that could have ever
Were
happened.
you out of commission for about a day?
3 months. You can't really see within the first 3 months. You can see somewhat during the day, but it's not in HD. At night, it just gets bad. Don't even try to drive. It was one day, again, doing the cable technician job. I was working on a roof in the village. It was snowy on the roof. I said, I'm going to tell this fucking asshole, I'm not running this line in the snow. As I'm on the roof and I'm looking down, I'm like, oh, shit. I can see everything. Matter of fact, it was around that time I last saw Chris Lighty, God bless his dead, in that same neighborhood. And I was like, yo, Chris, what's up? You know, he's like, yeah, whatever. But as I'm looking off the roof, I said, yo, I can see every fucking thing.
Yeah.
It was the best thing ever. So the times I think about committing suicide, I'm like, nah, I just got these eyes. I'm not committing suicide yet.
Yeah.
It's too soon.
That's
Oh,
just,
why would you think about committing suicide?
The struggle
Yeah, but here's
when
the
you're
thing.
freelancing.
Listen, I know what you mean. I myself suffer from depression.
Right.
I try to, I don't know why, but I do know that killing yourself is something that should never be thought of, especially that you have children, especially that
We got our daughters.
yeah, they need us. Whether even though they may say like, man, fuck you, Dad,
Right.
they still need you. A lot of people play that tough act inside their heart is very,
Right.
powerful. Depression is something real. Depression is something that just therapeutically needs to be just spoken about between someone you trust in. I always talk about depression, especially on social media.
That's why I love that Shanti Dawes episode.
Yeah, and I always
Dope.
I always talk about how, and I have people contact me. It's very scary but very good. I have people like I tweet and Instagram and tell people like, yo, if you going through depression, feel free to hit me anytime if you need someone to talk to. And I get hit up all the time, and a lot of people go through a lot of shit, man.
yeah.
And it's scary for me to handle that, but I just try to tell them my opinion. I don't try to tell them what the fuck to do. I just try to tell them my opinion.
Right.
What
you gonna say, Pete?
No, I was saying that's true, because you would never think that to hear people in their everyday lives, they battle this thing. Another one of the Combat Jack shows that was more prominent for me was the one with Pharoah Monch.
Okay.
Because he was speaking as well as far as having these
Well, his
depression
album
issues.
was his album
Yeah,
was
his album name was PTSD.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
named his album PTSD.
And he's a good dude too. I met him several times. Very good dude.
Yeah, ooh, that boy on the mic for real. Pause. Anyway, but he spoke on it, and it was eye opening. Like it's a real thing for some people out here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you really don't know until you know somebody who is going through it.
That's what we actually spoke about at Combat Jack's party.
Yeah.
Buddhism and everything.
Yeah, Combat's trying to get me involved in that shit.
Take your time.
Yeah, I think I may get involved because I need some patience. I need some.
Well, if jail didn't teach you patience, it didn't teach you anything.
No, I learned patience, but I need it again. I definitely need something in my life to slow down a little bit. So
We know a lot of the same people, so that's why we had a conversation about it.
Yes.
So it's a slow process.
Yeah.
Slow process.
How you doing with that?
You're here.
Yeah.
So it's a slow process, but it's a good process.
Yeah.
But it's really meditation. I don't get into the heavy stuff.
Okay.
Not yet.
Okay.
I don't know if I'm gonna get into it. But the people that we know in common, it's been good because
Yeah.
it's been real slow. I'm doing it at my own terms. Don't
Okay.
push me into something
Yeah.
that's unfamiliar.
Yeah.
And it's been working out. Like I said, you're here.
Yeah. Most definitely.
So it's been working so far.
Yeah, no,
So
most
far.
definitely. It's a good time chilling with the drinks and convo.
Oh, man.
Formerly
Yeah.
cocktails and podcasts.
Rare, something like that.
Wait, the third question Trev had was, what is your favorite Combat Jack interview thus far? He said his is the Nori interview, the original
Really?
Nori interview, he said.
The fuck out of here, Trev. The original Nori episode was official.
Yeah, it was official.
He came with fucking. Let me tell you something. Nori comes with a crew, man.
Yeah.
He comes with people dressed in fucking 6X fucking sweaters and fucking 48 size fucking Levi 501s and guys in suits and scarves and fucking raincoats.
And the funny thing about it, I know some of the people that he run with because I grew up with some of them.
Yeah.
So,
And they thorough dudes.
yeah.
They definitely thorough dudes.
MU?
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple of people there, man. I'm not
Yeah,
getting
yeah.
into
I know,
who's exactly there. But my favorite episode, fuck, I don't know if I can pick one, but I definitely would say the Dame Dash with Just Blaze.
Yeah.
That was
Just was feeling away.
yeah, that was hysterical.
Just was feeling away because Dane was like, "Really, you still didn't let?"
And that was the first time. the world has heard Dame Dash in a minute.
Yeah. Now you're right. I remember I was in Starbucks and I said, "Fuck, they got fucking Dame Dash."
Yeah, it was big.
Because I know his family. Trevor's related to his family.
Okay.
So I'm like, shit.
Yeah, it was big.
But it was dope.
And him and Dame just going back and forth and just getting pissed the fuck off. And me and Dallas Penn antagonizing that whole conversation.
Yeah,
That was funny as hell.
they was egging that shit on.
Yeah, so
You know, 'cause-
that would be one of my favorite. And to be honest with you, the LL Cool J episode, I felt like LL, like here's the thing, LL is the god,
True.
LL was big fan of LL, and being let me tell you something, being a big fan of LL. We built before that episode, and then the episode came out so well. Like, I still talk to LL. Like, LL, I find it, let me tell you something. I don't ever get starstruck.
Right.
But LL, whenever I post, something on Instagram, and he'll comment, on my daughter, blessings, my man, or whatever it is, out of the blue, I'm like, man, that's fucking LL, man.
And that's
fucking
Yeah,
LL,
because you got to still sit back and be like, that's LL.
But no bullshit. When I posted a meme on Instagram about people in relationships, and it showed me here at the studio, and I took two memes and I put it together. I was like, Pete commented, and Pete said, "Y'all want to do your podcast?" And I'm like, I'm not gonna lie, I said, this fucking guy think it's a joke. Like, this shit is my life. I live for this shit.
Yeah.
But then you kept going back and forth, and I said, yo, Pete want to do the podcast. And Pete didn't stay there. He was sitting there like he's sitting there, and I'm like, oh shit, I'm gonna reach out to this guy. And that's why I said I appreciate the fact that you're here. Like,
oh, come on.
you don't understand.
No, it was a really big deal.
You don't understand.
We were finagling a whole lot of things this whole week, trying to make this thing happen.
Yeah.
And we were really upset because we couldn't make it happen. And then at the last minute, literally when I was getting on the bus to come over here, he told me, yo, Premium Pete's coming through. I was like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. Because he's supposed to be here earlier, but I didn't tell him that you was coming.
Because he hit me last night. He hit me last night because I went to pause.
Yeah,
on that
pause
one.
on
Pause on that
that
one.
Back to back.
Pause on that one.
Keep the ticket going.
I went to an event for one of our co-hosts, Nim Diva.
Hey guys, what's up? It's your girl Nim Diva, and I want to talk to you about a product that I've been using for the past week. Now, I've been teetering at 200 pounds for almost 6 months, and everything I did to lose the weight, it just didn't work. So a friend of mine suggested that I use IASO Detox Tea, which is manufactured by a company called Total Life Changes. I started taking the tea, and that very week, I'm not kidding, I lost 5 pounds. I called her back and I'm like, what did you give me? And I sincerely couldn't believe that it worked. So she gave me the website. So I logged into www.totallifechanges.com/bodybydiva. And I placed my order immediately because it worked fast. It wasn't a lot of work to prepare. And I saw results that week. Not to mention that it gave me an abundance of energy without those jitters. You know how those other pills give you the jitters? I didn't get that. I'm a mother of 5 and I need my energy. So it also gave me the energy I needed. There are also other products that cater to your lifestyle needs, such as weight loss coffee, Slim PM, who doesn't want to lose weight while they're sleeping, HCG drops, resolution drops, and a host of others that promote health and wellness. This isn't just a tea or another company, guys. I promise you, I am living proof. So go place your order now. www.totallifechanges.com/bodybydiva. Don't just observe the changes you see, but become the change others see.
Nemdiva, okay.
Yeah, Nemdiva.
How was that? I seen the
it
picture of
was,
Nemdiva.
Yeah.
It was,
Yo, Nemdiva, why in the fuck are you here?
it was
okay.
It was very interesting.
Hold on 1 second.
She got drunk.
Let me give a little PSA to Nemdiva. Hold on.
Very drunk.
Nemdiva, I heard you don't know who the fuck I am, but at the end of the day, who the fuck cares who a person is? You got to meet a person to see who a person is. Nemdiva, and I think Nemdiva actually, it's funny because when I said I was going to come on the pause, the
Drinks and Conversation
podcast or show, shall we say? I listened to an episode.
Okay.
And I heard Nemdiva has a son.
Yeah.
named Tristan.
Uh-huh.
Now I don't know if you know, but my son.
No, that's actually Gigi.
okay. Gigi.
Uh-huh.
Gigi has a son named Tristan, and that's
Yeah.
my boy's name.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Baby Premium.
Oh, okay.
Baby Premium's name is Tristan.
Uh-huh.
So Gigi, what up? Where the fuck are you at? Okay, you ain't here. You ain't here. Let me give you a hug or a kiss or you know what I mean.
They don't
and them
understand.
diva, I seen them diva.
Yeah.
You over
Yeah.
here drinking that yak, you know?
Yeah.
I texted a picture to Pete of them diva. He was like, "Yeah, I'm coming through," but she threw up
Yeah.
because of her.
I don't
event
fuck
last
with any.
night.
Let me tell you something. I don't fuck with any girl who throws up.
Hey.
Okay, I don't fuck with. There's two things I don't fuck with. I don't fuck with a girl who takes off her shoes in the city and walks around barefoot.
I heard. Yes.
Oh,
Any
that's-
girl
that's-
walks around
that's-
barefoot. That's a
They
scurvy,
spoke
dirty
about
girl.
that on lip service. They spoke about that.
I don't
Yeah,
fuck
They
with
spoke
that.
about that.
That's a lot of them island girls do that.
I got a question for you.
Go ahead.
Meter maids.
Fuck a meter maid. Them piece of shits.
But
Where
if
the
your
fuck that come from?
if your family members a meter maid, he loves you.
Yeah.
He got love for you.
Yeah.
Fuck meter maids.
Yeah. Fuck meter maid.
You had to hear the Scarface episode.
Yeah. So I
didn't catch up with that one.
I have a new segment now at the end of the show. It's called Premium Piece Rant of the Week. So on the Combat Jack show, at the end of each episode, I'll give my rant. So it's like, 4 episodes in running. I think I did one about masturbation, one about marriage, one about meter maids. So I think we got a new one coming. I don't know what it is, but,
I'm pretty sure it's gonna be hilarious.
No,
Yeah.
you got to hear the rant. I had to remove my headphones. I'm like, this is too loud. It was that funny.
Yeah.
Fucking funny.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that, man. I appreciate the support, man, of the show, man, and I like what you guys are doing over here at the Drinks and Convo.
Yes.
Drinks and conversation.
Formally.
Formerly Cocktails, pause,
Pause.
and Convo, show. I don't want you to call it a podcast no more.
Okay.
Do me a favor.
Call it a show.
Call it a show because you are a show.
Okay.
It is a podcast.
Okay.
Podcast falls under the realm of that. So
True.
it's the show. This is a fucking show.
Cocktails
it's a
and
real
Convo
deal
show.
Cocktails and Convo show. When I'm not here, you call it.
But yeah. When he's not here and when there's no
Shout out.
when there's no chicks involved.
Shout out to the good folks at Carnivore
Yeah, Carnivore,
Yes.
this shit is really
for the Cabernet
smooth.
Sauvignon
Yeah.
California
But
2013.
Pete said that. Pete
This
said that you got to be smooth, and that drink
This
is
shit is
smooth.
really smooth. And I'm not much of a wine drinker.
Yeah, he doesn't. He doesn't.
This
no.
shit,
Let me tell you something about wine, right? Wine is so beautiful because one, it mixes well with a lot of things.
Right.
And when someone says, "Well, what does it mix well with?" I'll say, "Okay, so wine mixes well with sex.
Yes.
It's very, very smooth, very elegant. Wine mixes well with food, particularly seafood,
True, I can see that.
steak. So when you cheese, I love wine, and a lot of people say like wine makes them tired. Nah, wine makes me. Here's the thing: I never want to be a sloppy drunk. I want to be a
Right.
smooth drunk. I want to be a smooth drunk. So I drink things that make me smooth and like feeling nice. I want to feel nice. I don't want to fucking be on the floor and have KO picking me up. You know what I'm saying? Never happened.
Not that I would talk about it.
Nah,
but
because he'd
that's-
take them awkward pictures and then that'd be
Right.
a whole
Yeah, this
thing that's-
motherfucker. This shouldn't be on Instagram.
on
This
Insta-
fuck.
You be on IG.
No, but I
you
wouldn't
be on
do.
IG.
I wouldn't do you dirty.
Next
man.
thing
I
you know,
wouldn't
you'd
do
be a meme. Like,
Yeah.
your face would be a meme. Like they tore down Denzel on the fucking IG.
did they?
Ooh, they tore him down.
Yeah, that was classic.
Now you're on the Combat Jack show.
Okay.
Popularity is growing.
Okay.
You got several businesses that's coming under the umbrella.
Okay.
Besides all the great achievements going on, what's on the horizon for you?
For the future.
Yes.
Well, one, I like to take the Combat Jack show live around the world. Possibly not even do a Combat Jack show. Possibly just do because podcasts are so big, and I feel like we're one of the fathers of it. Just really do a meet the podcaster type thing we did at the Apple Store.
Yeah.
Around the world, kind of explaining to people how we started and what we do and how to kind of give insight, to kind of give inspiration. That's one thing I like to do. The other thing is I really, really want to, and I haven't been able to, but I'm going to put out a cookbook.
Okay.
Under the umbrella of You Gotta Eat This. Not you got.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, like kind of more of like a Premium Pete, inspired. Not coming from You Gotta Eat This, because I'm gonna keep it to what I like.
Yeah.
Right.
Other stuff is, I really, really want to possibly do more public speaking. You
Okay.
know? Do more speaking, for jails or for group homes, for homeless people, for parents, or or for people just looking to start up in things. I think that sometimes people think that people need to be rich to give back, and that's not true. If you're filled with experience, then that's giving back.
Now, you know what I want to get into? You can drink this. That's what it's called.
You got to drink this.
You got to drink this. Yeah, I like some information about that because I think it actually coincides well with what we're doing.
Absolutely, we definitely support you guys.
Right. Yeah,
Definitely
I
support you.
definitely.
Who's this guy that came in the studio?
Actually, we share studio, so we're about to wrap it up.
Okay, no problem.
How can people follow you?
Premium Pete
Yes.
on Instagram, on Twitter, on Periscope. Combat Jack Show. Weekly we drop a podcast.
Yes.
My food site with Bumby is hold on, grab this guy in here. Yo.
Where's he at?
Hold on one second.
He's still looking.
Yo, do you have that fourth mic
he's
open?
Out, he's out.
Hold on.
He's out in the hallway.
Just give me a second. Do you
Let
have?
me see if I get him.
No. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Get him?
Okay.
Yeah, come here one second. You have that fourth mic open? Come here. Come here one second. Are you up next to record a
Yes.
show?
Yeah,
Okay.
we're doing it live.
Oh,
doing a
okay.
live show,
Now
yeah.
you're doing a live show. What's the name of your show?
It's just called MMMP Show, McCork and Petresky.
Okay.
MMMP.
And what does that evolve on?
We're doing sports today.
Sports. What kind of sports are you
We're
into?
covering baseball first hour, and then second hour we're doing
Okay.
NFL.
What is your favorite football team?
Jets.
You fucking Jets suck. Jets suck. You know what the Jets stand for? Just end the season.
It might be the case again this
You know what?
year.
I know that they share a studio here, but I love the way you came in and you looked in the window you had that look look fuckheads. Hurry the fuck up,
They
okay?
don't give us much time to prepare.
No, I know that.
I know.
We're gonna close out right now. Give us 2 minutes, but we appreciate you. What kind of baseball fan are you?
Mets.
Get the fuck out of here. I don't even want to talk to you no more. Yankees and Giants, baby. I'm only playing. We're gonna be done in a couple of minutes, very shortly. 2 minutes, not even.
Well, I mean, if you're doing it live, you're off the air right now.
Yeah.
No, we're not doing it
recording.
live. No, we're doing it.
Yeah,
Okay.
we're gonna wrap it up. So again, how can they follow you?
Premium Pete on Twitter, Instagram, and Periscope. And like I said, with the food site, it's just you got to eat this, and Sneakers is SneakerTube TV, and just whatever, man.
Yes.
Just I'm out here, man. But I really appreciate the Cocktails and Pause Convo podcast having me.
Drinks and conversations
Drinks and
today.
conversations.
I appreciate
Today.
y'all, man. I'll definitely be supporting y'all in the future, most definitely.
We appreciate it. Pete, anything on your way out? Pause.
I'm just here. It's a great day for the
Internet.
internets. Yes, internets. This is a great day for us, especially over here at the Drinks and Conversations.
There you go.
Show, because Premium Pete was this was a highlight for us. This was definitely a highlight.
And as I always say, follow me Instagram, Periscope, Facebook. I don't know. Find me wherever. The KO Show, THEEKO Show. And I always say at the end of every show, 7 days without prayer makes 1 week. Premier Pete, we thank you
Thank you.
Yes.
for gracing us today. Thank you.
Cheer.
Was that
Cheer.
a pause?
No, that's thirsty.
There you go.
Yeah,
Cheer.
you was reaching on that one.
Peace, y'all.
All right.
Peace.